Hey everyone, JCS StarCraft here bringing you Game 2 of the semifinals between BratOK and Socke for the Go4SC2 August final. Action getting started here on Delta Quadrant with BratOK as the yellow Terran and Socke as the red Protoss. This time I got it correct because I got to say Terran first. I'm always tempted to say Terran right away because there are a lot of Terran players on the map right now. And game 1, an epic game between the two players. Socke took it 1-0 right now. This is a best of 3 semifinals for, I think the grand prize for the monthly cup is 500 euro. So not something to frown at all. And a lot of these players, I think, had won several of the cups before. So the entire month, you know, like I think every cup is 1 to 200 euro. Probably 100 if the final is 500 for first place. And you know, you can build up some money right here. So not something to scoff at. A very good prize for all the players. This is the top 8 players that have placed in the Go4SC2 during the entire month. Go4SC2 weekly cups are held every Wednesday and Sunday on the European servers. I think it's free to sign up, so if you feel like you want to play, go ahead and sign up. The cups have grown incredibly large at this point, and Socke now going across the map trying to scout it out. BratOK now going to be getting pretty standard build as well. Very interested to see if he's going to change things up at all. Went really favored that Marine Medic build to begin with. BratOK has some really incredible micro and harassment and good control and timing from him, so that allows him to really play a great micro game and just use the bio army to his advantage. He's incredibly strong there and very creative with his play as well. So now the early harass going to get on Socke with the first scout going down as it looks like BratOK hasn't even been able to go out and scout just yet, trying to establish everything at his base, and a pretty decently early scout for Socke as well. So pretty standard play from him here. The top 8 players, of course, accumulated points. The top seed was Naniwa at the top of the ladder and playing single elimination for the top 8 into the best of 3 every round until the final round, which is a best of 5. The tournament was a little delayed today because the European BattleNet was down for a while, so nothing could be played anywhere. All of Europe was a little bit clamoring and pestering Blizzard to finish and get that going well. So it looks like same strategy for Socke on this map as he used against Naruto, which is really trying to find his opponent. They are in the cross position, but Socke going to be chrono boosting out a few zealots across the field right now to apply that early pressure onto BratOK. BratOK just pumping out as many Marines as possible, and the first zealot is going to be running in with the probe as well. Probe is fully powered, and let's see what BratOK can actually do to hold off against this. Naruto was able to eventually hold it off as well. But it looks like he has retreated his Marines properly so that he can't really, you know, at this point Socke can't really engage, and 3 Marines out right now. So unfortunately for Socke, he's up against the, one of the better micros and brings out several SCVs to really absorb that damage in the front. None of them really taking too much damage, just pulling out 4 at a time so that his mining still is good. And now 4 Marines on the field, very weakened zealots. There are several of them here, but I don't think Socke has enough, as that first zealot will pop very quickly, and now just kiting the zealots as best as he can. Socke doing a great job trying to micro and rearrange the zealots so that the front zealots can do a little bit more damage, but now everything coming out for him, and it looks like this is not going to work out well for Socke at all. A few SCVs do go down, but looking at the units lost tab, actually in that exchange, Socke losing out more than anything else, and this zealot is actually going to retreat at this point. So BratOK now in the base of Socke, looking around, and knew that there was that early pressure going on, so that he isn't as well established in this case, and BratOK going to be going for that 1-1-1 so he can pump out the medevacs. I think his weapon of choice also can opt for the early Banshee to do some sort of harasses. Banshees have saved him in a lot of the games that he has played. So it looks like he is going to be going with the Banshee, going to be doing that swap, especially since he knows that his opponent was delayed in getting the Cybernetics core, so probably doesn't have as many Stalkers out as he normally would, and BratOK now going to spot that first Stalker out there right now, and so looks like the swap will occur right now. Going to be getting that Banshee out there pretty soon, and probably going to reinforce on the ground, getting the second rack. So 1-on-1 with the second racks going down. Very standard Terran play from a lot of Terran players. Probably going to be getting Reactor and Tech Lab on these 2 racks, and just going to be pumping out units until he can secure his expansion and just kind of bulk up right there. BratOK might be throwing down a... I don't think he will. I think he, unfortunately for Socke, kind of taking a little bit of a risk going with that early Zealot push out there right now, slowing him down a little bit in getting now establishing his 2-gate robo, but everything a little bit behind for him. Warp gate technology a little bit behind as well. And so BratOK now just really going to be establishing himself, throwing down yet a triple racks, and looks like he's going to be getting favoring that bio army yet again. Here comes, no, he's not even going to be going for the Banshee at this point. Knows that the Stalker is already there, probably not going to be able to do as much damage or catch his opponent off guard. And here comes that Raven out, really wants to deny any sort of scouting in the air, and I think the Raven's just going to be followed by a bunch of medevacs, pumping out a bunch of ground units. So looking at the army count right now, even though I think, well, actually the exchange was pretty decent, but income tab wise, it looks like, wow, Socke significantly ahead, 31, I'm sorry, over 26, and just able to kill off a few SCVs in the beginning and just chrono boost his way to secure some sort of economic advantage for him. But looking at the armor tab, things are actually evening out a little bit, 46 over 44, and it looks like BratOK is just ready to pump away right now, taking out his natural expansion right here, taking the debris away, which is very similar to what Socke did on the backside as well. So both players just going to be firmly establishing their mid game at this point. And BratOK now, here comes the Observer, going to fall down pretty much right away if he wanders anywhere near the Raven doing its cool little spins. Socke does see what's going on here, and would be interesting to see whether or not he's going to throw down that proxy pylon here yet again in this game so that he can jump across and do some harass onto the natural expansion when he has to. Meanwhile, the scouting SCV is going around checking to see if there's anything tricky going on. Socke is holding the only Xel'Naga watchtower on Delta Quadrant, and now Socke going to be going over to getting the Thermal Lance and getting out some Colossus to counter. I assume that the Ghost Academy will come out at some point later in the game, and medevacs are in the air. Both players are pretty even at this point, 62-62, and BratOK might be testing things out a little bit right now, seeing what he can do with his micro. Going to be picking off this Observer if it wanders a little bit too close. So unfortunately, Socke won't be able to track and follow everything through. This probe is not paying attention right now and just gets killed instantly. So going to be moving across right now, and might or might not, I think he just killed that probe and decided, you know, he might not want to press in since his opponent knows that he's attacking right now. Good timing from BratOK, of course, trying to push in during while his command center is going out during his expansion. Already has stim, and maybe might be waiting for combat shield to finish. That would be a good timing for him. Is that engineering bay down anywhere? So no researchers, no upgrades yet for his ground unit.